welcome back to the Covenstead witchy people. This is the video for week 4 of the hashtag Witches Black Lent 6-week challenge, which says create an incense blend of fragrance oil that is inspired by your selected sin. So I was just getting ready to film the incense blend part of the 6-week challenge, Witches Black Lent. And I realised that in the garden was the exact thing I needed. So I went out and picked them. This is obviously daffodil heads, daffodils also known as narcissus or narcissi. So I'm going to dry these out and then bring them back in and use them. Okay. So whilst my narcissi, my daffodils are drying out, I shall add the rest of the incense blend. So the first thing I'm going to use is myrrh that I've just tipped all over the floor. So I'm using myrrh because its connection to the underworld. And like I said, it's the same with... Oh gosh, that smells lovely. It's the same with scents and colours and candle colours and gemstones. I think you need to use your intuition on what it is for you. So some people will not see myrrh as that sort of like connection with the underworld, and therefore the dead, and the dead to represent rebirth. But that's what it is for me. It also is ruled by the dark moon and Saturn especially rules darkness and endings. So this is the ending of the wrong way to maybe act, and the beginning of using pride in a positive way. Right, so I'm not going to crush it up too much. And what I shall do is everything I use I'm going to put back into this little tin. So obviously I'm using quite a lot of myrrh because that's my resin base. A lot of the things I use will not be all ground down because they don't need to be. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to be using is lilac. Now this is my homegrown lilac from my old house. And okay, so I'm going to use the lilac to... Oh, it smells lovely in here. And I've got white and purple. Blue and purple flowers are very good to be using in anything with pride. So as you can see, I'm only using a little tiny bit. No, a little tiny bit there. So the lilac is for banishing, getting rid of negative energies or values. And also protection. And so this is my getting rid of the negative side of what people think pride is, but also almost like a protection about becoming too proud. So I'm going to use it to stop the spell when it's done, because we don't want to be going overboard. Wow, okay, I don't want to be going overboard. So I was going to use an awful lot of purple and blue flowers in here, like butterfly pea flowers and blue cornflowers, but I decided against it all and just used a little bit. So there we go, that's the lilac. So next I have a tiny bit left here, and this is really good patchouli, and I'm not going to use a lot. Now patchouli is used quite often in fertility spells, and I am going to use it in that way, but not as in childbirth or waiting to get pregnant, but fertility in growth and nurturing of the spell. And to add with that, I'm also going to add the blue cornflower. And that's also for the same reason, for the same as the patchouli. It is for fertility, but also for abundance. Because I want it to be strong enough, but I don't want it to be overpowering. There we go, there's that. Okay, next I am going to use dragon's blood. Now this is my pre-prepared incense blend of dragon's blood, so that I don't have to grind it all up. It's here already. And I do believe this dragon's blood, the same as my sandalwood, comes from India, I do believe. So this is a pre-prepared dragon's blood incense blend, if you like. So it has the dragon's blood in it already, and a few things that will help it burn and keep it, keep the scent lovely. So it's just pre-prepared dragon's blood resin and such like, because I find it easier to keep a lot pre-prepared. So next, as I just said, it will be sandalwood. Oh, the dragon's blood, by the way, is for changes and also protection during battles. So if I'm battling against being too humble, read the comments on my first video. I think Charles Worth gave me a lovely comment. I thanked him. He was trying to be mean. Okay, so yes. So the dragon's blood is for changes and protection during battles. And for that, it's kind of, I want to change, but I also want to be protected. So that's that. Now sandalwood is notoriously hard for me to crush. I usually put it in my blender. I have a special herb blender. So sandalwood, once again, is for protection. It's for healing, but also exorcism. And I'm going to use this as exorcism of negative thoughts and relaxation. And I'm going to use that relaxation as acceptance. So to accept change. So in we go with that. Right, next on the list is quite simply an obvious bit here. So when we talk about pride, funny enough, the only thing that really represents pride is the sun. If we're talking about being proud, rather than pride as in LGBTQ plus, I can't remember what it is now. So to represent the sun and to strengthen that narcissus, I am using dandelion root, because dandelion, I prefer dandelions to sunflowers, and a little bit of the rest of the plant. And it's just a focus, it's a focus for the sun, as a representation of pride. Now you have to be careful with dandelions, because when you get these little bits here, these fluffy little bits, or when they're in incense, they can really blow up. So there you go. Right. Now all that needs now is my dandelion. my daffodil, and that'll be done. Let's have a quick sniff now. Oh, of course it's beautiful. It's got dragon's blood in it. It's one of my favourites, but it's also got that sort of headiness of the lilac, which is quite interesting, and the almost earthiness of the sandalwood. Yeah, that's quite interesting. So I'm going to put the narcissi in a moment. As soon as it's dried. Oh, I forgot one thing. Vanilla. Now vanilla, I love using vanilla as a, this is still quite, it's not dry, it's a bit bendy. So, oh gosh, that's lovely. This is a whole vanilla pod. I'm not going to use a whole one, I'm going to use about a quarter of one. And I use vanilla simply, a lot of people use it for death and endings, some don't. But I am using it for passion and vitality, the vitality of the spell or the ritual that I'm going to be using this blend in. And all I'm going to do is chop it into little pieces. And I'm telling you now, if this is kind of like soft like this is, when it burns it can stink nasty. So you can use a couple of drops of vanilla oil or vanilla essence instead. That will just, it won't be as harsh. So, and I believe these are Madagascar vanilla. They were very expensive, but they'd gone out of date, and of course out of date is fine for rituals and spells. Not best for eating, but for rituals and spells it's fine. So like I said, this can get a little bit tacky. So what I'm going to do is, oh, that smells good. Oh, I think this is going to be really lovely. I'm going to put all the rest of that in there for now, so that the vanilla mixes in and doesn't just stick to the pestle and the mortar. That's quite pretty, isn't it? Look at that. Isn't that pretty? It does smell absolutely divine. Now obviously this, especially with the narcissus in as well, that's going to be enough for quite a few spells or rituals. So yeah, I mean I can use it a lot for sort of like having pride in what you do, accepting pride and being proud of your achievements. That all works out good for me. And then hopefully, yeah, so the vanilla is all mixed in now. It's not stuck all to the bottom. How does it smell now? Oh, that's really blended it well. That I'm going to call a success for the moment. I don't know what it's like when it's going to be burnt, so we shall see. But there you go. Apart from the narcissus, that's done. So I'm going to check on those in a moment. Whilst I was getting out all my resins, I found this, which is an old incense blend of mine, and I sell this one. But I cannot for the life of me remember what's in it. Now I know it's got dragon's blood, sandalwood, because I can see the sandalwood. I know it's got a lot of hibiscus in it, but it smells lovely. I'm thinking that's frankincense. That's not myrrh. That, I think it's got frankincense in it. Oh, I'm sorry, baby. Did you want to get to your water? So the cats have their water up on, it's just there. So they like to climb up. But they don't like the smell of my incense. So there we go. Right, I'm going to go and get my narcissus to represent vanity, but also once again, that's for the fertility, so the growth and the nurturing of the spell or the ritual that I use it in a positive way. Just finished drying out my little narcissi, my little daffodil heads. They are pretty dry. Probably could have done with doing a little bit more. By the way, I really hate doing this, it hurts so much. Right, I would say that's pretty much all blended in. I can see little bits of yellow there. Cool, this to get a spoon. Right. I'm now going to put this in here, and that is my incense blend all done. I think it looks really pretty. And it does. The smell of the vanilla, and because I used red sandalwood rather than high grade sandalwood, red sandalwood doesn't smell as strong, and it's used a lot for the colour. Yeah, it's not overpowered, and that vanilla really seems to be keeping the dragon's blood in check. Yeah, it's lovely. And there we go. I think that's rather pretty and rather nice. So there you go. That is my incense blend. Now I've got to go and find my charcoal. And like I said, once again, there's quite a bit in there. At least 3 rituals worth or spells worth. Now I have to write on it what it is. Oh, there's a couple of stamens left in there. Not going to waste them. Just a good shake. And there we go. All done. I don't know why I've got the raven's feather, but I do. Right, that is it. Week 4. Make your own resin or perfume blend. You know, I might make a perfume blend anyway. We'll see. But that's the incense resin blend, incense blend already. And yes, we shall see how that burns. Hopefully with the amount of myrrh and dragon's blood that it's got in it, it'll be really, really good. And it does smell lovely. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Bye bye for now, witchy people.